everyone. This is Christina Vinley, also known as the Prophet Queen, and I am here today because of two things. One thing is I'm in Monica's video blogging challenge every day in April, so I'm almost halfway there. And I'm kind of sick of listening to myself, so I decided today to bring on the lovely and talented Michelle Van Otten, and she is in my Kick-Ass Biz Divas group, and she really stood out to me. You can see her profile picture there on the bottom, hopefully, but her branding is amazing, and her energy is amazing. So I just knew that I needed to get to know her better. And I'm glad I did, because the stuff I've seen on YouTube about her recently, we have a lot in common. So I'm really, really excited to interview you. Thank you for taking your Saturday afternoon to play around with me here on an interview.
Hey, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I know I'm up in Portland this weekend, so I was just been sequestered away in the hills, and finally made my way back down into the city so that I have reception and can do this with you.
I'm so thankful. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So I know you are a transformational coach. I've seen your juicing videos, which I love. Your workout, inspiration stuff, which obviously I'm into as well. But tell me really who you are.
Gosh, who am I? My whole entire life's journey has been one of transformation. I think I'm one of the, well, I shouldn't say one of the only ones, but because there's so many of us out there, but I'm really passionate about what it takes to break through barriers and what it takes to really overcome challenges in your life. And my whole backstory of my life has been one of tremendous overcoming obstacles and challenges, particularly, I was born and raised into an interesting family, as we all are, right? But my mom was very violent, abusive, alcoholic, and she was very damaged herself. And so growing up with that, it was a real big challenge. I mean, I was told I wasn't loved, I wasn't wanted, yada, 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 the whole story. But basically, it's a very painful upbringing. There's a lot of things that, as a kid, you can choose one or two directions. You can go down south, and you can really let that take you down and go the wrong route, or you can dig somewhere deep inside of you and really connect with that your life has a bigger purpose, and you can use those challenges as gifts. And that was my choice. I chose that route. So I have really chosen to see the things in my life that have been a real challenge for me, and to really master how to overcome them. So I sought comfort in food when I was growing up. I had a massive sugar addiction. Definitely ate everything in sight, especially if it was sweet, because that was a way that I could pacify myself. And obviously by the time I was in my late teens, I actually was starting to really balloon up. I actually hit 200 pounds when I was in my early 20s, and was also a single mother by that time. So, a lot going on there. I actually made a really big decision after my son was born that I was going to unzip the fat suit, step out and step up in my life big time, because he was a huge piece of my why. I was very, very connected to the fact that I wanted to break all the molds. I did not want to continue that chain that had been part of my family generation of behaviors that weren't so healthy, especially when it came to parenting. So I really made that choice to do that, to step up and to really transform my life in so many ways. And that day was a real pivotal point for me. It was like a moment where my son was about 6 months old, and I realized that I got to get going. So I basically have not looked back. I've had a huge, massive journey in my whole life with health and nutrition. I actually did start studying personal development when I was very, very young. About 10 years old, I started reading my first personal development books. Because I wanted to seek a way to understand what was happening inside of me, and how to be a better person, and to overcome a lot of the emotional challenges I was facing when I was younger. So my journey into transformation, very early on, I recognized that it would have to be a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual journey. It was not just going to be losing some weight. You know, there was so much more to it than that. And so, and that's what I've basically devoted my life to at this point, is really helping other people to take those steps as well. I also have a very strong connection to entrepreneurialism. Part of my journey getting my act together when I was a single mom was taking that route towards entrepreneurialism. And I spent 10 years working in the financial services industry before I actually got the courage to connect to my passion and my purpose and step out of the corporate world and start my own business. So I've been in the health and fitness industry for about 20 years now, and have never looked back. It's been fantastic. So I get a lot out of my time with my clients. There's nothing greater to me than to help people to actually get the pieces of transformation, to actually understand how to overcome any challenge, how to get out of their own way, especially up here, and to use the power of their nutrition, their mindset, and their connection to themselves and to every bit of their own essence in order to really step up and achieve what they're here to do in this lifetime.
Got it. So what do you love most about what you do now? And great answer, by the way. That was it. Thank you. Thank you.
What I love to do, the question was, what do I love the most?
What do you love most about what you do for your clients or your products or whatever you're doing with your business? What do you love the most about it?
Seeing them actually get massive results. Yeah. That lights me up more than anything. I mean, it's really, to me, the bottom line is the results. It's not about the fluff and stuff. It's really about giving people extremely solid, proven strategies, tools, resources, and just watching them just take off. You know, that to me is absolutely the best. That's why I get up every day.
Nice. So that gets you out of bed every morning, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
You want to help as many people as possible? I get it.
Yes.
So who is one of your favorite transformation people, and what happened to them? Where did they where were they, and where did they end up?
Gosh, I have to pick one.
You have one? Yeah, just one. One that really, there's going to be one or two, whatever, but you know, they really hit home, where, you know, maybe you were in tears after they did what they actually did from your training.
Oh yeah, I would have to say, well, it's been a few things. I mean, for a number of years, I had a wellness clinic where I had clients would come in and work with me on nutrition and aspects of transformation. I had a woman once that came into me. Actually, she saw me speak. She saw me speak at a seminar, and I noticed her right away in the audience because she had an oxygen tube going through her chest. She actually had a hole in her chest, and then tubes through her nose. And she sat there, and she literally looked like she was half dead. And I looked at her, and literally I just connected with her mentally. And I was sending her a message, just saying to her, "Sister, you have got to see me. You've got to come and see me." And her husband, actually, I had been coaching him. He was a runner, and I was coaching him on his performance. And I had no idea that the two of them were married. I mean, you would have never guessed in a million years that these two were connected. Right. And the next day, I got a phone call from her introducing herself and telling me that she wanted to come and see me for an appointment. And it was really funny because she said, "I don't really want to hear what you have to say, but I'm going to come and see you anyway."
She's like half dead and doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
And so I was like, okay, well, you know, God bless you. And if you're coming in anyway, that's, you know, and I just acknowledge you for that. That's step number one. So she came in. It took her about 5 minutes to make it from the waiting room into my office. And when she sat down, she just started to pour out everything that was going on with her. This woman had an infection around the lining of her lungs. She had a systemic bacterial infection in her body, throughout her blood. There were many things that were going on with her. And I literally took her hand and I looked at her and I said, if you don't do this for yourself first and for your kids second, you're going to die. You're going to die. And she said, I know, and that's what my doctors have told me. And so after about an hour of her sitting there and allowing her to just cry, I said, okay, you ready to go to work? And she just looked at me, she said, no. But we ended up putting a plan together for her. She worked with me for, I think, close to about 6 months. And I got to tell you that not only within about, I started putting her on a detox program that I've created, and actually started helping her with the right supplementation and doing some other things that were going to help her with boosting her own immune system. And within about 3 weeks, she was off that oxygen supplement that she was taking. Just the tubes came out. She was actually getting her energy back. That was a really big deal. She literally didn't even have the energy to walk 5 steps without exhaustion. So after about 6 months, this woman ended up running her first 5K.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's huge. Oh my goodness.
It was amazing, amazing. And
wow.
I think there's a testimonial video on YouTube of one of my clients, Ed Diamond. I unfortunately have a history of cancer in my family. I've lost a lot of family members to cancer early on in life. It started happening, and you know, that's a very, very painful thing to go through. I mean, anybody that's lost anyone to cancer will tell you how painful that is. So I have, and a large part of my background and training is in holistic nutrition, and I, in particular, have been fascinated with why we treat cancer the way we do in this country. It's very wrong. And so I've helped many of my clients to overcome cancer and to get through that and to get healthy again. Ed was one of them. Interesting story. We met each other at a seminar, actually in Las Vegas, where I live now. And in a couple days, he said, I want to work with you, and you know, can you put me on a nutrition program and a fitness program, and help me with my presentation skills. I help a lot of speakers also, you know, just to present themselves better and to understand how to have magnetism and confidence and power. And a lot of that has to do with their posture, where they stand and whatnot. So giving a little backstory here on the meeting with Ed. So I watched Ed speak, and then I had some feedback for him. We actually had dinner. And after that, we were walking back to the seminar, and I kind of stopped him, and I just kind of looked at him, and I said, Ed, I think you've got more challenges going on than you know about. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I told him this. This is just my intuitive hit, but I have this feeling that you are on the way to cancer. Yeah. And he just looked at me, and he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I know this sounds really odd and it's weird, and you don't know me, but listen, that's just my intuitive feeling. Well, long story short, I started training him the next day. We met the next morning. I took him to the gym with me before the seminar. I dragged him in there about 5:30. We had a great time together, and I started writing up his nutrition plan and was sending that to him so that he could have it when he got home. And he calls me when he got home, and he said, you're never going to believe this, but I'm in the emergency room. And I said, really? What's going on? He said, I don't know, but I think I have a blood clot. He says, I had this big, huge lump on the side of my neck. And I was like, oh, my God. I said, well, do whatever the doctors tell you to do. And I said, and call me back and let me know what's going on. So, of course, I didn't hear from him for like 2 days, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, my God, this guy must have, you know, of course, you know, you think of the worst. Oh, my God, this guy died from a blood clot or something. Like, what happened? So finally he calls me back, and the first thing out of his mouth was, how did you know? And I was like, it's cancer, isn't it? He said, yeah. They told me that I have cancer of the throat and the tongue.